It is the Morning Mayhem on Transafrica Radio.
Let's take it to the man.
Some amazing music right here on Tira Radio. Moby, Prince KB on this one. It's in my bit in Lovugazi, Sapta, and of course Afro Brothers. Number the song is called Gugule. Time now is exactly 15 minutes past 10 o'clock in African time. Otherwise, in the building we have Miss Cash Madab. Vanessa Mdee is out here in the building. She's actually a singer, philanthropist. She's just a global icon, man. This lady's out here doing some amazing things, you know. She's actually an award winner, a musical sensation, businesswoman, and of course, a philanthropist. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you.
Pleasure's mine.
So much.
Appreciate y'all so much too. Thank you for supporting the music.
Now, we've always been supporting your music because now you've always been doing some great music,
Thank
you know.
you.
I feel like that's always been your mantra, you know, about quality stuff and of course about great music, you know.
Right.
And looking at you and of course reading at your bio, I see that you actually started as a radio personality.
I started on TV and radio, so I won VJ Search. I won VJ Search in 2000. Oh my God, and 7.
Yeah.
So it's been years. So when we did the radio stuff and the TV stuff, it was like just our alleyway into the industry. I was really just studying the right moves to make my next big move, which has been my greatest move.
So now before the VJ Search, you understand?
Yeah.
What was the dream?
I always wanted to be an entertainer, always wanted to be in music. My father thought that wasn't the greatest thing for me to do, especially as an African dad. They're like, what are you talking about music? So what I did was he forced me to go to law school. So I went to school. I did my whole, formal education. It was great. It taught me everything that I didn't want to do, which was law. It taught me that I really wanted to be an entertainer. Even when I was in college, I would still, be like the most entertaining person, like social rabbit, all over the place. Hosting the baddest gigs. That was just me. It was my thing. I even used to sell shots at a bar just so I could get links to the People Network.
And one thing that I understand about your dad is that your dad was actually a diplomat, you know?
He was.
Now, being raised by a staunch kind of figure in the house, you understand? And a representative of the country, you know?
Yeah.
You were probably denied certain things, you know? What were those things?
Yeah. We could. I never went out. I never left the house without my dad.
Yeah.
Permission. Without my dad, you can't go to sleepovers. They're sleepover where? For what?
Yeah.
For what? No sleepovers. No. I never went out till I was 18 or 17 to go to a club.
Yeah.
Yes, and I only went because I was like, you know what? I can't not experience this life. I skived. I jumped the fence. I was out. My parents were asleep. I literally crept out of the house. I did that several times, and then I thought, this is gonna kill me, because every time I had to come back in, I'd have to call my sister inside the house and be like, are the dogs locked? Horrible.
Did they ever get you in trouble though?
They never caught. They're gonna hear about it today.
Hey, hopefully there's no listening in.
No. Yeah. So I never had a normal social life. I couldn't hang out with the kids. I couldn't dress up a certain way. I couldn't speak a certain way. We couldn't go to, oh my gosh, there's so many things that we were denied. But I've made up for it, over the years.
So now, looking at the way you were raised, you understand, are there certain attributes that you actually took from your dad that you might also impart to your kids as well?
Oh, absolutely. Like the diplomacy and everything. I think there's a certain etiquette that you learn from being raised by a diplomat. The culture, being very receptive to cultures is something something that I'm very grateful for. You get to meet so many people. You're not in one place for too long, and you have to adapt. So I think the ability to adapt is something that I really am grateful for from that upbringing. And obviously, just the merging of cultures. I really respect and appreciate, and also just can really see the art and the beauty in different cultures. So all of that is all these things that I'm definitely going to impart in my kids.
Definitely, for sure. And then your mom as well. Your mom is like an artist of some sort.
You know what? It's so crazy. My mom, and everyone says this about their mom, but my mom is the most beautiful woman I know. She's a stunning beauty. And people say to me, even now, older women who grew up in the time when my mom was a teenager and whatever, she did a whole bunch of pageants. She was a fashion model, a runway model back in the day. So I'm talking about in the 70s, beautiful African
women. Your mom
women.
has been raising the flag.
Anyway, so mom was she did this in her free time. And everyone who knew my mom back in the day says to us, oh, you are nothing compared to your mom.
Does that make you feel bad though?
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel great.
Why, though?
I'm like, no, she's a beautiful woman. She's my mom. Like,
yeah, don't you aspire to be just like her, baby?
I aspire to be, but they're already telling me that, like.
So it's like already discouraging.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. But no, she's a stunning lady, and she is still very much my prayer warrior. She's a pastor now. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's had her fair share of living the life, and now she's my soldier.
Yeah.
In the spiritual world, and I really appreciate her for that. Yes.
Your second name is How?
Yes. H-A-U.
How do you say it? What does it mean?
So the lengthy version of the name is Hausa.
Okay.
And it means, okay, so it has three meanings. It means the night.
Okay.
Or serenity.
Okay.
Because in the night, I believe that there's serenity or there's a calm. And it also means wolf.
Okay. So clearly you are the person of the night.
Yeah.
Alright, so time now is exactly 21 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. Vanessa Mdee, all the way from Tanzania, is actually out here in the building, man. She did a song with K.O. The song is called Nobody But. Love the song. Nobody But Me.
Classic.
Beautiful song. Classic, man.
It's a blessing kujenga family ni sumu kwetu ni
The Morning Mayhem on Transafrica Radio.
Tanzania and of course the South Africa teaming up on the song. And what do you get? You get Nobody But Me. Beautiful jam, I gotta say, man. Absolutely love this jam. It's a classic of a joint. 25 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. Third and of course the final hour of the show. And in the building we actually have the Queen of the Night. You know how? I'm just gonna call you that.
Queen of the Night. That's never happened before.
Can you please tell us about Nobody But Me, you know?
Yeah.
How the collaboration even came about and what the song actually really means for you.
Well, I wrote the song, funny enough, on Valentine's Day, and it's one of the easiest songs I've ever written.
Were you writing it for somebody special?
I was with that somebody special in the studio, so you know it was completely like about him and about us and about that time.
Yeah.
And we had a little to drink, so you know it's just like oozing out like everything, emoting. And I remember when we recorded it fully with all the verses, and we had been talking to K.O. about a collaboration. We had sent him a different record. And I had a feeling that he didn't quite want that record because I think he knows me of being a more R&B soulful record. It's a soulful singer, and that song, it was a bit more up-tempo and it was a bit more hip-hop.
Yeah.
And I think he just wanted me to give him something that was more me.
Yeah.
And so I came down to South Africa and I said, I have another song that I would like for you to work on. And we played it for him in the studio.
Yeah.
And he recorded it immediately. He's like, this is what I was waiting for. And he wrote the bars, and we gave him, the Swahili bars for him to sing in the intro. And it was magical, really. I couldn't have asked for a better collaboration. And it actually, this song was my first African hit. Yeah. It took me to Nigeria. We got our first real nominations from the song. And it's just a beautiful song that in just a fusion of two different people from different parts of the world who just kind of completely just married on a record. And it's still one of my favorite songs.
Beautiful jam.
Yes.
Beautiful jam. Can you please also explain to us what does he say on the first part of the song?
So he says it's a blessing. Baraka means blessing in Swahili.
Yeah.
Kujenga family. To build a family is... it's about kujenga family ni talanta. To build a family is a skill or a talent.
Okay, yeah.
Sumu kwetu ni, which means our only poison is talaka. Talaka is divorce. So the only poison between us will ever be
divorce.
Yes. And then nikupeleke Mpumalanga. So let me take you to Mpumalanga.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's where he's from.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yes.
Wow.
And then,
shout out.
So that's what it is.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Now, speaking about that line, speaking about marriage and speaking about divorce, you understand? Right. Now, we live in a dispensation whereby we hear of a lot of divorces, you understand?
Right.
And back in the days, such things never really happened, And I was actually talking to an old lady not so long ago, and she came through and said to me, back in the days, we used to love. You understand? Now, people don't love love. They just love what comes with love. You understand?
Right.
Okay, this is really something really kind of cool, What's your take on, the new dispensation right now and where we are as young people and not valuing marriage and not value love, really, to be quite
crazy.
honest.
I love love, so I'm not going to be a part of the people who are not team love. I'm team love all the way. But I totally understand where this may come from. It takes us, we fall into love and loving super quick. Back in the day, our parents, our grandparents, first of all, there was no technology. So conversations were based on letters that would take a week or 2 or 3 or 4 to get to the other person.
Yeah.
So you're lovingly waiting on a response.
You were kind of patient. You were kind of forced to be patient.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're forced to create an extra patience in the love, in the relationship, which I don't think a lot of us have now. And you know, social media, and there's just like everything is super quick now.
Yeah.
You respond to this, they respond to that immediately in a matter of split seconds. And then there's like obviously the selfies, and there's the nudes, and there's levels to, you know, the loving these days that make everything super easy. So there's not that much patience, not much growth, there's not much actually even realizing if you're compatible with each other. So I think that is just a different time for love.
It's kind of sad though, you know?
It's very sad.
It's very sad. And also I had this conversation, and this kind of open, I kind of did not agree with him, but he said that back in the days there were actually arranged marriages. Maybe they need to come back.
You know, the thing about arranged marriages, that there's 2 sides to it.
Yeah.
Number one, maybe they work because we don't actually know what we want, youngins these days. Maybe we're just jumping around and we don't know what's best for us. You know that your wife or your husband or your partner can actually, they come with blessings. They come with everything. You know, when you're the wrong person, like everything's just going to be a mess, like sometimes. But so when the elderly people pick somebody for you, they're scoping like long term. They're looking at everything about this person. Upbringing, tradition, culture, the way they behave, education maybe sometimes, or even just like stability mentally and otherwise. So there's so many factors that people look at when they're picking or arranging a marriage for you. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not for it for myself. I think it could work for people. I've seen arranged marriages that have thrived. They've been super successful, and you grow to love somebody. You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, I'm already in love with this person. So, you know what I mean? No, you know,
So now let's talk about Vanessa Mdee. You know, you also describe yourself as a global African, you know?
Yes.
What does that mean?
You see, when I say global African, I mean I am from Africa, and Africa, you know, I'm not African because I'm from Africa. I'm African because Africa lives in me. So everywhere we go, like we walk in the door and just, you know, just from our disposition, we are already like the Africans of the room. Even if we're not speaking in tongues, I mean in vernac, or if we're not speaking in our languages, but our presence, our energy, that's the Africa in us. So when I mean global, I come from a global perspective. I've grown up in around various cultures, so I understand what it's like to be African in a modern state. And like in some people say to me all the time, like, you're not always traditionally dressed, or you know, your videos are very like, what's the word? They say Western. And I'm like, let me ask you a question.
How do you take that?
Date back Generation X, all of us. We grew up in a world where we listened to American R&B and hip-hop, and we obviously had our influences who we absolutely love, the African artists that we grew up listening to, and culture. That's not going to change. That's definitely still in us. And in 4-5 seconds, I'll bring out how, you know what I mean? Like, that's still, you know, very much inside of me. But it doesn't change that my sophistication comes from a very global space, like, you know, and I can't, you know, that doesn't make me less of an African. It just makes me a more global African, and that's a great thing.
Okay, so now looking at the way things have changed and looking at the way we have actually become westernized, you know? Now looking at the future, are you kind of scared that we might kind of lose our identity?
There's no way. There's absolutely no way, not with all the ancestors that are in us and around us. There's it's impossible. Because I think that at the core of us, we're who we are. That's our core. You can't change your core, can you? So I don't think there's anything to be afraid of.
Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. So now, like I said, man, you are a global African, like you said, and you are pretty much raised in like different countries, you know? Which is that country for you, that one country for you that constantly stands out?
Ooh, I'm going to say France.
Okay.
Because that's where I spent a lot of my formative years. So I started to speak, I started to logic, I can start to understand things. Like when you're young, like like from the ages 1 to 2 or 3, you don't really remember much. And then from like when you start to form like memory and like recognition of things and people and culture and taste and food and so that I think France was like a big part of my upbringing. And I'm actually like really going back to France a lot now and being a big part of the Franco market. We're working on some French projects. There's a French version of That's For Me coming out.
Yeah.
So, that's very much a part of me. I resonate a lot with France. And then obviously Tanzania and Kenya.
Hometown.
Because, obviously 100% like Swahili culture is so beautiful.
Amazing.
And I think that the language as well sits beautifully on music, on composition.
Yeah.
And just the way that it's very poetic and soft language.
Yeah.
And so, that being the Bantu-ness in me makes me relatable to the Zulus, because there's a lot of like
commonality with it.
Absolutely. And so I think those two countries are definitely my base.
You also mentioned Nairobi, Kenya.
Yes. So
I love Kenya.
I've
never been to Kenya.
You've never been to Kenya?
Never.
Oh, we have to take you to Kenya.
I suck, eh?
But first to Tanzania.
Yeah. Actually, I want to go to Tanzania
first,
then Kenya, then Mozambique.
Yes. Oh,
and
yeah.
I'll see
all three are amazing.
Yeah.
Kenya, for me, was the first place I actually was like a free teenager.
Okay.
Of course, I come from home and I can't go out and I can't go to the club. So Kenya was the place where I went to high school and I went to like the club, not the clubs, but like, how they have like in boarding schools, like the disco at the school on a Saturday night. My first experience of like a social
gathering,
Yes. So a lot of my teenage years were spent in Kenya, and I really appreciate it. And I also went to college in Kenya. So So I do really appreciate Kenya.
You really are a global African,
Yeah.
Love that about you. Otherwise, the time now is exactly 35 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. And there's a song that you actually did quite recently. It's actually called Niroge. Love it. Come through. Let's talk about this one right here on hashtag Morning Mayhem. Any questions you might have for Tanzania's finest, come through and WhatsApp us.
Is the Morning Mayhem on Transafrica Radio.
Let's take it. Time now is exactly 39 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. And of course, this right here is the Morning Mayhem with the king of the morning. My name is Thabang Mashile, joined in the building by Tanzania's finest. She's actually hailing all the way from the beautiful country of Tanzania. She's actually a global African, and she's actually been in the game for quite a long time. And she actually rose to fame, rather, with actually her music career, because now she actually performed a song called Congratulate or
Celebrate.
Celebrate.
Oh my God, I can't believe you know that.
Yeah, I know that. Now you're performing that song and it instantly became like a hit out there in Tanzania.
Yeah, because it was like the first song that I had ever put out as a single. It wasn't really a single. It was really for this Sakafa Cup. And Tanzania won that year. So it kind of became like the anthem. We won. I sang the anthem. It was kind of like a combination of right song, right time, right place. And, we performed it on national, actually international television, because Supersport was there, was broadcasting live. So we performed it at the stadium and the president was there. It was such a big deal. What? I was like, oh, she sings. So it was a cool introduction. Of course, it didn't last on radio because it just lasted the period of the tournament. But it was a good introduction and people were like, oh damn, so she's on, she's doing music now and whatever. And then I immediately had the success of a huge collaboration after that. And the rest is history.
So now the switch from TV, radio to music, how difficult or how easy was it for you?
For me, it didn't feel like a switch.
Okay.
It felt like an extension, like a continuation. But for people who were receiving, it felt like a switch. For them, it took, at least the audiences and people who had known me on radio and television, it took them a while to so I had to put in extra work, extra work to be like, hey, we're doing music now. But they were completely receptive, which I'm grateful to God for. A lot of people don't have the same reception. For me, it's been a smooth transition. It's just an extension of myself. I didn't feel like, because even when I was on TV and radio, I was in the studio.
All the time. Working.
Yeah, all the time. So it doesn't feel like anything that I changed.
So now you also said that you actually studied law, you understand? And I'm looking at you, I'm like, you belong in the entertainment industry.
Oh,
you look like entertainment,
Thank you.
And then my question is, are you ever gonna reach a time in your life whereby you say that, you know what, I'm kind of tired of this entertainment industry and I just wanna, do corporate now and just...
Oh, no, I don't think so. For me personally, I don't think that's ever gonna be I'm never gonna turn to corporate anything. Maybe in the background in equity, maybe own a few, but never 9 to 5 in the office. I don't think that's ever going to be my path.
Have you ever done a 9 to 5 before?
Before I did music, right after high school, before college, I did a 9-to-5 at a cellular company where I would sell SIM cards.
Okay.
In a little window right outside the store. And I only did it because it was the only way I could get out of my house.
Oh, so you always wanted to be out of your house, eh?
By the way, do you know that as soon as I left my parents' house, I never went back. As soon as I left for college, I never went back to my parents. Never. I was like, no, it's done.
What?
Never.
So you just go ahead and visit you?
Yes.
What?
Never went back. Never. 100% independent from the day they let me out.
What?
Yes. I was like, you guys don't know what you're doing.
That's unfair, though. I feel like that's
Unfair
unfair.
to whom?
Yeah, on behalf of your parents.
No.
Come on,
They
Vanessa.
had me for an amazing 18 years of complete... No.
Wow.
I was never going to be able to do anything if I was in that house.
Shucks. Yeah.
No, not to say that was a horrible place.
Yeah.
Beautiful place to grow up. I had the best of everything. But it was time. It was time for let me break free. I mean, now I know what the club scene is like. You ain't taking me back.
Now, your first experience at the club scene.
Oh my gosh.
What were you expecting? What were you anticipating? And what were your fears?
So, the only thing I had ever seen from a club was what you see on television.
Okay.
Discotheque.
Yeah.
And it was completely different. I went out in a small town called Arusha. So I grew up in Arusha, so it's my hometown. And there's nothing there. It's like there's a few people in the club dressed in sweaters because it's super cold. It's right at the base of the Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
It's a super cold town. And it's altitude is super high. Nobody is dressed fancy.
Yeah.
Nobody is actually the way I'd imagined the club to be.
Yeah.
But the energy was something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
So the energy was brand new to me. It's people are in a space, enjoying, responding to music like this, having a good time. That was what really caught me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, you just,
I was like,
I'm
the
gonna go
music,
back there,
what music does to people and how it makes them respond to how, they just had all their inhibitions had been released, and I felt like this is something super powerful. I want to be a part of this scene.
Okay, cool. Hence your name is How, the Queen of the Night.
Queen of the Night.
Now, can we also talk about your collaborations? Now, you've actually collaborated with so many people actually in the music industry, Now, have you ever collaborated with somebody, done a song with somebody, and the song was not working out?
Oh, plenty of times.
Yeah?
Oh, this happens more often than it doesn't, actually.
Is it?
Yes, I think there are more no collabos than yes collabos.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of things. I always say that my favorite collabs, my best collabs, most successful collaborations have been the ones that I've actually known the artist, we've been cool. It's been really organic, everything, studio, music, video. There was no power play. It's always been like that. But most collaborations that have failed to launch or haven't been as successful have been because I think that at first there wasn't real chemistry between the artists, sonically and otherwise.
Yeah. Shucks. So how do you tell an artist that, hey man, the song's not working out? Or do you tell them, or your manager?
I am
cut you that
the
much?
type of person who says, I don't think this song's working.
Okay.
Because the song will outlive us all.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to be a part of our story. So for me, it's not difficult to be let's try something else.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a no, it's a let's try something else.
Yeah.
So I've never been afraid to say that.
Shucksy. Now, let's also talk about some of the awards that you've actually won, and of course, some of the nominations that you've actually had. Hip Hop Award, Best Female East Africa. You actually won that, which is dope.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ghana Music Awards, SA Best International Artist. And you also came through and, of course, won that,
Yes.
Which is really amazing, and you also been nominated.
You just got my trophy. Yes. Thank you.
You just got it.
She just got it. Yeah.
Is it?
Nandi just got it. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to attend the awards. So
You were
nice
busy.
No, I hate when people say that.
You were?
I was temporarily out of availability.
Busy. Otherwise, any questions I might have for Vanessa Mdee? She's actually got a brand new single right now called That's For Me. It's a dope jam. Love it. But otherwise, that song's going to be coming up after this one, Cash Madam. Can you please tell us about Cash Madam? I love the song.
Oh my God. So let me tell you, this song is based on a true story. I went to a show.
Yeah.
I got booked for a show. Obviously we got our advance payment and, we're ready to perform. Before we go anywhere, we have to have, the final payment done, sorted, whatever. Anyway, before I left the country, we had been going back and forth with the promoter, and he was just acting like hella crazy about our balance. But because we were the only East African act on stage, we didn't want to let our East Africans down. It wasn't a show on the continent. And we were just like, what are we going to do? Okay, let's go. Give him the benefit of the doubt. He's also working hard to promote talent. You know, whatever. Camaraderie. So get there, and I'm listening to artists in the corridor whispering about being fully paid. Male artists.
What?
And I was like, hold up. What's going on here?
Yeah.
So I approached him, and he was very rude about it. And still, I'm here to perform because more importantly, the fans want us to want to see us, and a lot of fans came out for us. So we went and we performed, and we finished the show and we left. I still haven't been paid for that show. The balance still today. So for me, it was a moment in the studio where I was a bit angry. I was like, so first line says that I was a pesa misitaki, which is don't disrespect my money. You think because I'm a pretty girl that I like to party, or you think that I have a sugar daddy.
Okay, no.
Don't take this for granted. Have put some respect on my name. So that's what the song is about. Everywhere I go, they call me Cash Madam.
Yeah, you are Cash Madam, definitely for season for sure.
Call me Cash Madam. The money, you never see it coming. Cash Madam. See me a romantic, me a one man chick. Put it on me like a one-time thing.
On this one, I know the song is called Cash Madam, and of course the time now is exactly 51 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. Tanzania is out here in the building, and she goes by the name of Cash Madam. Please don't take her for a pretty face, man. Otherwise she's going to write a song about you. But Vanessa Mdee is out here in the building. And can we also talk about your philanthropist or philanthropic, how do you say it? Philanthropic work?
Yeah, my philanthropy.
Yeah, your philanthropy as well. You actually have a foundation called Udata Foundation.
Yes, I do.
Please tell us about your foundation.
So I'm very passionate about young women and girls. I believe that there's a lot of opportunities for young women and girls, but they're not reaching for them, maybe for several reasons, various reasons. I believe that it starts with just younger women in our society just getting the right sort of boost and the right sort of mentors and support. So we started Udada Foundation. Dada is Swahili for sister.
Okay.
So Udada is sisterhood.
Okay.
So the Udada Foundation, we do a bunch of stuff. First, the Udada Talks, which is like the TED Talks.
Yeah.
So we visit a bunch of schools or community programs where we give support in terms of tuition, sanitary pads, water, sanitation. And then more recently, we're doing the 100 School program where we're lighting up 100 schools. So we're providing solar electricity for girls, schools, or outreach programs that involve girls' schools. So it's just all about creating solutions, quality solutions for sustainable communities and especially circumstances for girls.
Shout out. Can I clap hands for you?
Yes! Thank you.
We're out here in the studio clapping hands for you. That's some great work.
Thank you.
Now, when did you start seeing the importance of really speaking mainly to young girls?
Well, I started earlier on, in my presenter days. I had a blog called Dynamite's Mission, but it was specific. It was a HIV and AIDS blog. So I would be invited to all these high-level meetings, and I would be there blogging, literally young blogging, literally a vlog that was cool. And Staying Alive and MTV had asked me to do it for them, and in turn it became this huge sensation amongst young people in East Africa, which was cool. Dynamite's Mission was very successful. But then I decided, I think that there's more to this. I can't be so specific. So I started to get invited to a lot of programs that specifically were for girls. So we did something for the initiation of a cervical cancer vaccination in Tanzania. And this was the first one of its kind. So at this point, I'm kind of noticing that girls are kind of in need of some sort of mentorship, especially in our time, especially in Tanzania. Social media is the only place where people go for information, which is unfortunate because it's not as it's not as informative not as reliable. That's the word. Not as reliable as it should be. And I think that there's some horrible role models for girls on social media. And I just felt like maybe we can just switch this around a little bit and make sure that we can voice real opinions and real lifestyles as opposed to what they see on the digital space. So my whole thing is look at me, look at my life. Now look at me now when I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like, notice the separation. Notice what I've gone through to get here, but also notice that I'm very much just like you.
Okay.
You know, so that's our whole thing. You know, creating like a reality about life and giving them hope.
Because there's a lot of put on stuff.
Yeah. And it's a lot of put on, especially, I'm telling you, especially where I come from.
Yeah?
Especially, more so than anywhere else I've been in Africa. So I think that it was a very necessary platform to use.
Wow. Now let's talk about your brand new single, That's For Me.
Yes.
Featuring DJ Tira and Prince Bulo. How did even the collaboration
Destruction Boyz.
Destruction Boyz
Yes.
also out here. Like, I wasn't anticipating such a collaboration, you know? I wasn't anticipating such a hard jam. What happened in the studio?
Wow. You know, it's crazy because when we initially recorded the record, it didn't sound like this.
Yeah.
We wanted to make it a more global sound.
Okay.
Gom.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Getting there.
Getting there.
You are getting there.
The sound is amazing. I really respect the culture.
Yeah.
I really respect the movement of the people of KZN and just the way they really like own it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the merging, as we did with KO, of two different cultures, still retaining my R&B style in the vocals, but bringing Tira on. We've always wanted to work together.
Oh, yeah?
I've known him for years.
Is it?
Yes, since MTV days. And we've always been super like, hey bro, hey sis.
Yeah.
Always, like, even when like we weren't working, and I've always kept a close contact with his team through like, they've had a few shows in Tanzania. So just like knowing that there's something that we could, you know, do together and bring a huge like impact from our various worlds, our two different worlds. So when we got the opportunity to work on this one, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He said we had real conversations.
Yeah.
Like, he said to me, "What do you want it to?
Yeah.
What do you want it to sound like? How do you feel about this? What about this? What about this drum pattern?
Yeah.
What should we do with this? Do you like this?" And I was like, I can't believe DJ Tira is asking me these questions. I was like, a whole DJ Tira.
An entire DJ Tira.
An entire DJ Tira is asking me, what about this drum pattern?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I met the Destruction Boyz for the first time on set. And the Rude Boys also came on set, which was amazing for us, like to bring the initiate us, the guys who are actually doing it for the sound. And for me, I just felt like full circle moment, really. And when the song came out, I just was like, damn, I'm having a super surreal moment right now. Like, I can't believe that we made this happen. And shout outs to the crew, my team, Africa Creative Agency, for making that video possible. It was a headache. And obviously UMG, Universal Music Group, and Afro Force One, who have been our force in Europe, who are making sure that the sound is
Germany,
in the
right?
streets. Yes, they're in Germany. So, you know, the sound is going places, honey.
Paper is going to be coming in, honey. You know what? Otherwise, Vanessa Mdee, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Pleasure's mine.
It was so amazing actually having you in the building.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Anyway, one last question for you.
Go ahead.
At Transafrica Radio, we play 100% African music.
This is amazing.
I just want to find
so
out your
nice.
thoughts about that.
I think that it's so important that Africans start to really just put on for Africans. It's not going to happen any other way. Our industries are not going to grow any other way. Like, first of all, the separation of industries needs to stop. There needs to be one Africa, a central goal. And I think that if we have platforms like such as these that really support like African artists and African music and African culture and like the globalization of our style and our sound and our culture, it's very important for us to have platforms like this. And I really do support you guys from afar. I do see the efforts. I see the tweets. I see it. I see it. And a lot of people do too. So thank you guys for your tirelessness and your resilience. It's not going to be easy, I'm letting you know. It's 100% going to be worth it. And I think that you guys are going to go down in history as the ones who came through for us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vanessa Mdee, man.
Thank you.
Tanzania, please stand up. Otherwise, where can people actually catch you on the socials?
Oh, socials. The name is Vanessa Mdee, or as South Africans say Mdee, or Nigerians say Vanessa Mdee. You know, it's VANESSAMDEE. In African sounds, double E is not E, it's A. So Mdee.
Vanessa Mdee.
Yes, you got it right though from the beginning. So shout out to you, Thabang. Thank you. You can catch me. That's the name everywhere across all platforms.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Go out there, go flourish, go shine.
Thank you.
Keep on conquering.
Thank you.
Keep on raising
the conquer
African
is
flag.
consistent.
You know what? V-Man is out of the building, and for me, Thabang Mashile, Papaini, everybody. I'm going to be back on your radio tomorrow morning between the hours of 8 and 11 a.m. CAT. Here's that new smashing tune. The song is going to cause so much havoc, man.
It is the Morning Mayhem on Transafrica Radio.
Let's stick it to